plants, vegan made easy.
Hi everyone, it's Anya from Cooking with Plants, and I'm joined by Chef Adam Guthrie from ifeelgood.com.au, and he's just been hanging out at our place on holidays for the last few days, so I've convinced him to stay with us, and I've got my own live-in chef, so this is really fantastic. I'm loving this.
Yeah, she's roped me into the kitchen.
Yes.
Gave her a break.
Yes, it's been fantastic. Yeah, normally I'm always in there and trying to cook things, and yeah, it's been great to have a live-in chef. I could get used to this. But so while Adam's been staying with us, we got chatting about how we both became vegan and why we started eating plants and our backgrounds and health issues, and yeah, quite a lot of similarities there. So I thought I'd get Adam to share his story with you, and just let you know how he came to where he is today.
Yeah, it's been an interesting story. It's a long one. But I originally became vegetarian when I was 21, but before that I did an apprenticeship as a chef in a really nice place. And I used to eat blue steak. I was the biggest meat eater on the planet, and I loved eating meat. But I became vegetarian because I did put on a lot of weight just after my 21st birthday, and I started to study nutrition and look at it and look at diet, and so I thought I'd change the way I ate and became vegetarian. And I did lose a lot of weight and I felt fantastic, but you can become a very lazy vegetarian. You can become a very lazy and eat very poorly on a vegan diet too. Yep. If you become slack and eat all the junk food, which I did. I became, after a few years of being vegetarian, I started just eating, pizza for dinner every night with lots of cheese. Every day I'd have 2 or 3 milks of iced chocolate and iced coffees. I'd be in the car every time I stopped in a service station. You'd probably relate to this. Some people, you'd always buy a bag of chips or, some chocolate bars. I don't know if you ever did that, but all the time. And after you eat like that for a few years, weight comes on. But what happened in 2009, I was about 110 kilos, and I wasn't feeling too good. And I surf, and I'd just gone to a longboard, and there's some big swell. I like big surf. And it was about 10 foot at our local break, and me and a mate and 2 other guys decided we'd paddle out. Anyway, we got out there and we all took waves, and I'm paddling back out, and I see this huge swell just building on the horizon. And I'd just gone from a short board to a mow because I was so big, and I thought, if I don't get over these waves, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. So I paddled as hard as I could, and I got over the first one, got over the second one, got over the third one, and the fourth one of the set, which was the last wave of the set, was like a mountain. And I just remember paddling up, like paddling forever. And I just got to the top, just as it was curling over, just punched through, and as I punched through, bang, I just got this pain right across my chest and down my left arm and in my back. And I thought to myself, I've just put a muscle, or, I pushed a bit hard here. So I kept surfing, caught a few more waves, and the pain didn't go away. So I went home, hopped in the shower, then I went downstairs and sat down at my desk and started doing some paperwork. And then it happened. I got this like crushing pain in my chest. Wow. Pain down my left arm, this nausea like I've never felt before, and this cold sweat. And I rang my wife, Rue, and she wasn't home. I said, look, something's really wrong. And I don't know about you, if you're a guy out there, but most guys sort of exaggerate their sickness. So I was like this boy that cried wolf, with Rue. And she said, oh, you'll be all right, you're just having a panic attack or something. I said, no, something's really wrong. She said, okay, I'm half an hour away, I'll come home. And I said, yeah, we'll need to go to the hospital. So she came home. Actually, no, I hung up and I knew something was really bad. So I rang my mother-in-law down the road, and she took me to the hospital, which was about half an hour drive away. And we got there and they did all these tests, and the nurses came back and said, you've had a heart attack. Scary. And I went, I can't have a heart attack, I'm a vegetarian. How can that happen? And they said, no, you've had one. and they kept me in hospital that night, and apparently I had another 2 while I was in
Wow.
hospital overnight.
So what age was this?
I was 39 years of age,
39. Wow.
110 kilos.
Yeah.
Not very fit or well, hadn't done exercise since I was a kid, except for, a couple of surfs a week. And they flew me to Sydney from the south coast, and they did an angiogram, and they found that the inside wall of my artery, a little bit of plaque was building just under that, and my endothelial cells, which are the cells that line the inside wall of your artery. So the inside wall of my artery had torn, created a little flap, a blood clot formed, and stopped the blood flowing. That's how the heart attack happened. So they saw that. It was very deep in the heart, very narrow. They were going to put a stent in, but it was too low, they couldn't fit one, which I'm grateful, so I don't have any of this metal hanging around in my heart. But anyway, they kept me in hospital for a little bit longer and came home. I left the hospital with the 5 medications that they give you. And I took those religiously for a month, and then I had to go see my cardiologist afterwards, after a month for a checkup. And I'm sitting there with him. I said, look, I don't feel too good. I think it's the side effects from these medications. And he said, yeah, you're absolutely right. It's the medications, but you need to get used to it because you're going to be on these medications for life. That's what
So
he
they
said.
didn't give you any dietary advice or anything?
Yeah, they did. You went to there was a course that you had to go to educate you through in that month, and that was quite good, but it's nothing compared to what I know now. It was basically eating more whole foods, but they still had meat and they still had dairy in the program. But when I sat with him and he said, I'm going to be on it for life, I said, I don't think so. I don't want to. And so I left there and I got online, and I'd already heard about the China study beforehand, but I hadn't read it. But I got online, I Googled, and I eventually came across Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn, who was a heart surgeon in the States at Cleveland Clinic, and he'd been treating patients for 25 years on what he called a whole food, plant-based diet, which is essentially a vegan diet with no junk food, but just whole food the way nature hands it to you. And I went, I can do that. And that's for me. So I changed the way I ate, started eating that way, and then within 6 months I was off all medication.
Fantastic.
I started losing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And the weight started to drop off,
Yeah.
and it's 6 years now. 6 years that way. Haven't every checkup I get, all my blood's really good.
Yeah.
And I've just last year I started training for my first Ironman triathlon event. So that's in 3 weeks' time.
Yay.
And that started a year ago. And just eating the food I went from 110 kilos, and over a lot dropped off pretty quick at the start. I got down to about 85, 89 just from the food. And then since I've been training for this triathlon, it's gone down to 78 kilos. So I've gone from 110 to 78 kilos.
Yeah.
And when I lost a lot of that weight at the start in the first 6 months to a year, it just stayed off forever. Just eating the food, hardly exercising at all. But it's going to be amazing. I can't wait. I'll go from heart attack to Ironman.
That's fantastic.
I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of good friends to thank for that. They, they encouraged me along, who have done quite a lot of Ironman events. One's a GP that was quite large, and he was the one who's encouraged me. He said, Adam, come along. I've done quite a few of these. You can do it. He's been training with me, and it's been nice and comforting to do these long miles with him on the bike, and him taking me through. So we'll see how we go. Who knows? I might not finish it, but I'm feeling pretty good.
That's awesome.
So that's my journey, and that's how it's happened. And having that chef background, it's been fantastic. I've got this new love for food again, and I just love getting in the kitchen. I love playing around with the food and the different spices. I've really enjoyed cooking with you.
It's been great.
Yeah.
So when you first started, you said you were vegetarian instead of vegan. So how hard was it for you to cut out the dairy, cut out the milks and the cheeses? Because I know for a lot of people, when they transition to this way of eating, the cheese and the dairy is the hardest thing for them to give up.
Yeah. Well, It is hard because the cheese is quite addictive. There's something in there that does make it addictive, and people find it very hard to give up. However, because I literally had a heart attack, and not many people survive heart attacks, so I'm very grateful that I'm still here. And as a result of that, that's changed my mindset. I just don't want to put myself in that position again. So it was easy for me to say I'm not having that anymore because I just don't want to I don't want to risk my life again. It was quite easy for me to transition. But I know friends that haven't had a health issue that have wanted to go vegan, and the dairy has really keeps pulling them.
And it's just so amazing when you're on the other side and you lose the weight and you feel so good, and you can just feel that congestion just goes, and you have this, I don't know, it's like your body clears everything out and you just feel so good. So if you could just put someone in your body for a day and they could feel the difference, I'm sure everyone would eat this way straight away. It's just unbelievable. And like you said, when you lose the weight, it just stays off. It's like a natural balance. Your body just gets back to where it should be. So
totally, and it just feels so good not having that excess weight on you. You move easier, you breathe easier, everything feels so much easier. And so the way this whole food plant-based diet, the way I eat now, I don't use any refined oils, so olive oil and coconut oil and any of the processed oils. Because I remember Esselstyn saying in a video somewhere, saying you don't see an olive press sitting on an olive tree in nature. Just eat the whole olive because it's whole food. It's got all the fibre, vitamins, minerals, and the amount of oil in its correct proportions that your body can assimilate. And those other nutrients help do that. Whereas if you try and squeeze an olive, you'll get a little drip of oil out of it. It's like insane proportions. So none of that, and no refined oils. I get my oils from the whole foods, like an avocado or some nuts. I don't eat a lot of nut. And then I just eat fresh vegetables in the way nature give it to me. And sometimes I'll use some tofu or tempeh. I'll eat legumes, chickpeas, kidney beans. I'll eat grains like rice, brown rice, not white rice. If I go out, sometimes I might have white rice, and I don't fuss too much when I go out. I'll just always have vegan. It's hard to do the non-oil thing when you go out. But restaurants will, if you tell them in advance, they usually will do it for you. But most of the diet would be, my diet 70% leafy greens and vegetables, and then the rest is, the heavier root vegetables and grains and legumes. That's basically how I eat.
So no going back.
No going back. Like I've never felt so good in my life. Like you, you've been down the same path. It's like, and you never felt so good, and the amount of weight that you've lost. What were you? How much have you lost?
I've lost 24 kilos.
24 kilos.
Over 50 pounds.
Wow.
For our American friends.
What's mine? How much have I lost? 32 kilos. What's that in pounds?
70.
About 70 pounds.
70, yeah. So,
Thank you, Colin Campbell, and thank you, Caldwell Esselstyn, because you guys have actually literally saved my life and helped me feel so good.
Yes.
It's been incredible.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
it's amazing. So get on this lifestyle and, start for a week, start for 2 weeks, try it for a month, and you'll notice the difference, but stick to it 100%. Don't, if you cheat here and there, and you're going to feel the difference. So commit to it, give it a go, and once you know all the recipes and replace your favourite meals, it's easy to do and easier than you would think.
It is. And one of the things that I find, if you want to transition, a good way to transition is just start with breakfast. Just do a plant-based whole food breakfast, vegan breakfast. Do it for a week. Then the following week, just do lunch. Keep the breakfast. And then the following week, do dinner. And then within a month, you're eating whole food plant-based diet. So simple, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Anya, thanks for having me at your house.
Well, thanks for joining me and telling everyone your story as well. It's been very inspirational, and hopefully it educates a few people and lets them know how good they can feel. So so thanks again, and check out Adam's channel at ifeelgood.com.au. He's got some great recipes on there, and
Yeah.
and
And we do a meal plan. That's another thing.
Yeah,
If you want to
that's
transition, we do a little meal plan on iTunes or our website. That's a weekly meal plan, just 5 nights. For weeknight meals with a little video on how to do it. It's cool.
yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
I'll show you step by step how to just make simple dinners. So yeah, it's great.
that is great.
All right. Well, thanks again for joining us. And if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please do. And also join me on Facebook at Cooking with Plants. And I will see you next time. Bye.
See you guys. V.